What's up, my know-it-alls? That's right, it's time for the season finale of Ahsoka, Season 1. This is a fun episode. The episode's titled The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord.
Which I thought was awesome.
Totally. But before we get into all that, listen, do me a favor. Like the video, please. Subscribe to the channel. And also share the videos. We're trying to grow this channel. We're trying to make it so that this is the only job we have, which is bringing you amazing content like this stuff. So do me a favor. Share it out there. Get it out in the world so that we can all grow the Know-It-All Nation together, right? Without further ado, here it comes. Ahsoka Season 1, Episode 8, Part 8. The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord. So because, by the way, spoilers, we get zombies?
That is literally the only problem I had. It was a great episode. I liked it. I liked where we left off, everything.
Dude. Okay, so she says this to me, and I immediately go into a mini rant.
Oh my gosh.
Because you have to understand, I'm in the group of people, the segment of the population / audience who genuinely fell in. So I like Star Trek for the vision of the future. You got the uniforms, the whole thing. It's a thing, okay? I like for what it is. I fell in love with Star Wars because of the lightsabers and the Jedi and the sci-fi fantasy and the
100% agree with my husband.
Sci-fi magic and all the good stuff. And we haven't been getting hardly any of that except for some of the main things. But Rogue One, we didn't get it. Andor, by the way, a brilliant series. We didn't get any of it. The Mandalorian, the most we got was little baby Yoda with his little hand, and that's it. And maybe moving some things, whatever, or blocking entire fire things. But having Jedis running around with lightsabers and pushing things and the whole 9 yards.
That was awesome.
And then
nothing wrong with that.
So what do? They're whooping butt on these troopers. The troopers all fall, and then up above you have the sisters who are doing their Dothmiri dark sister thing, and next thing you know, green eyes. It reminded me of Hela from Thor Ragnarok.
Oh my gosh.
When she raises the old Asgardian warriors.
So
go ahead.
Literally the only problem I had was that it was very, I don't mind them coming back from the dead.
I got you.
It was just very zombie-ish, and I don't think it should have been zombie-ish. I'm all for bringing them back, yes, but it didn't have to go into that creaky, dead, zombie part. Because even at the door, we got the
no, totally.
I'm like, come on. That's literally the only problem I had.
I have to admit, I did also think that the moaning was a hair far. The moaning was a little bit, when at one point they're like you said, and I was like, I remember pausing and I went, okay, fine, maybe the moaning's is a little bit much. But
otherwise it was fine.
They were dope though. I mean, they still retained what they were doing. They blew open the door, they're running up chasing him. Anyway, I'm getting way ahead of myself, but also remember, we're not doing full on every nitty gritty detail. It's obviously Ahsoka and them. They're heading back. They got they're in the notes here in their little RV things. She's in her ship, and then he sends 2 TIE fighters out to go do this thing. Meanwhile, Elizabeth gets blessed by the sisters as being one of them, so she's got now dark stuff and black eyes and the whole 9 yards. And those 2 TIE fighters shoot down the ship, and when they shoot down the ship, of course, Ahsoka and what's her name? Oh, by the way, Ezra built a new lightsaber. He's dope. I mean, literally. And there's a really nice moment between him and Hu Yang, because I guess Hu Yang knew Kanan and when he was a child and taught him how to build a lightsaber. And he still had one of the hilts from that whole thing. It's great. And so when the ship crashes, what do? They get on their little wolf horse and go. And so they're riding.
That's me riding. It's a howler. It's a howler.
Like a panther.
So then they're all of a sudden, so what does Dude do? Because he's ahead of them. Thrawn is so ahead of them by every step. And toward the end, he says it's because I knew how your master would have done things, and I just assumed you would do the same. And he makes the same connections. So what does he do? He orders the Star Destroyer to start bombarding, because they've already brought the ring in from the atmosphere to lock in, so they're ready. And then it just sits there bombarding it. And
which I thought actually was pretty cool how they got the ring in there. It's like the ring
totally.
came down, snapped on like it's a
Yeah, dude. These little clamps.
Polly Pockets. No, sorry. I'm sorry.
That's awesome. No, but it did good. It did good.
And then it like just, it was, I just thought it was pretty cool the way they built everything, the way they drew everything.
Star Destroyer sized hyper ring for sure.
It really was.
For sure. So then, and what's really awesome in a moment that I didn't expect, they're like, you see him trying to hold the door open, and Kane, what's his name, Ezra is, and then she's like, help him. Ahsoka tells Sabine, so Sabine's putting her hand out, everybody's opening the doors. You get to see Sabine finally connect with the Force, and it's almost like it's almost like when you have a power cord that's just barely in the plug, and then all of a sudden it gets fully in, and all the power starts going. That was her.
Can I just tell you that I have been back and forth about how I felt about Sabine
for sure.
this whole series, or season rather, and I cheered because I'm like, she did it! She finally did it!
I think you even said, I love, because my daughter does the same thing. She goes, I'm so proud of her. And I was like, yeah, me too. Like, why not? Let's be proud of these characters. It's great. And so anyway, it's a big fight all the way up to the thing. They do this really cool thing because what happens is one of these guys are already called the Night Troopers, but remember the ones that what's his name had that were the Dark Troopers?
Yeah,
the ones in the super almost Beskar-like armor.
Oh, what's
so one of them is holding Sabine by the neck, and her lightsaber's not far, and she puts her hand out, and we're like, oh, poor thing. And then it starts to shake, and then whoo, flies into her hand, and you're like, okay. So then not a few minutes later, the Star Destroyer's taken off. Ahsoka's fighting off zombie guys, and they're like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And she goes, okay, I got it. She goes, you run, jump. He goes, I can't jump that far. She goes, don't worry. I'm going to push you, and then you pull me afterward. And he goes, okay, cool. So he trusts her and runs and does the thing, and she pushes him. And the fact that she was able to push him.
And she was that confident.
That's right, because she's done it once now.
And she's like, all right, I can do this.
It's like she broke whatever that block was that was keeping her from thinking she wasn't special. You know what I mean? Now it's like, let's go.
I think that was because of the conversation she had with Ahsoka while standing outside before the TIE fighter showed up.
No, I absolutely agree. And it's one of those moments that I genuinely appreciated, especially, so, I mean, here, spoilers, he gets away. Thrawn's back in the galaxy far, far away that we know of as Star Wars galaxy. And Ahsoka, it's so funny because once he's gone, he bombards and destroys the tower. But luckily, Hu Yang, always the guy there at the last second, they jump off the thing, he catches them, they're fine, the other troopers die.
But they destroyed you can tell right then the mothers didn't like that.
No.
The mothers didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
And he didn't care when
Morgan died.
When Morgan died.
Yeah. And so, but I feel like when it was all said and done, and Ahsoka's like, all right, well, let's go. And I'm like, she's not worried. She's very much in tune with what the Force has got for her. I feel like she's the most Jedi we've seen in a long time.
That makes perfect sense.
She has very Qui-Gon qualities. Not even Obi-Wan.
Qui-Gon, yeah.
Qui-Gon was the kind of guy who, right after getting attacked by a Sith he doesn't know, he's sitting there on the deck of the Naboo ship being like, hey, what's going on? Are we good? Everybody's good? That's who Ahsoka reminds me of. So I feel like, again, she's got a very Qui-Gon quality that I'm down for. I'm liking who she is now a lot. And then, of course, the goodbye nod as everybody's watching. But they arrive in Dathomir, Thrawn and them. But then back there, they're watching off the horizon. Oh, wait. Sidebar. Baylan. We get one. Shin Hati teams up with the bandits. So everyone gets something to do. And then, of course, we get our final moment with Ray Stevenson as the character of Baylan, the late Ray Stevenson. And I'm very much, it was a good moment because Eagle Eyes over here, he's standing on this awesome, majestic, giant statue that's pointing.
So he's like on the nail.
Yeah, totally. And as it pans around, I'm just like, oh, look, he's looking majestically. Something's calling him from afar. And Mrs. Knowitall was like, wait, pause it. She's like, there's a little flickering light. I'm like, what? And so I fast forward it, or rewind it rather, and then I'm like, oh yeah, off in the distance, this little teeny, I'm like, okay.
I feel like it's like like a mountain of some sort, like a
Yeah.
volcano, and there's just like flickering white light coming out of
Yeah,
it.
dude.
And he in previous episodes, especially with what's her name, he had said there's something bigger out there for me.
Yeah, something's calling him.
Something's calling him. That's what it was.
I'm telling you, I hope they don't lose the character of Balin, even though Ray Stevens is gone. I put a thing out a while back saying, a lot of folks on the internet are saying like Gerard Butler or somebody else.
Yeah.
I would love to see them recast with someone who can really handle it and see that character continue to be part of the Star Wars universe. I really believe that there's a lot of fun future things. He reminds me, and I only know this because I've watched the cinemas. I'm not a big video game guy, but I love the cinemas. Star Wars had a video game where they showed a guy who looked an awful lot like Balin Skull, who raises two Jedi kids. One of them's dark side, one of them's light. They use like yellow lightsabers and they fight each other. This whole thing. And again, in the comments, I'm sure you guys are going to tell me exactly what the game is. I would love to see some sort of a rising of a different kind of something on this side.
Okay.
And because I feel like
I can see that.
somebody could do something here. I was really happy that Ezra dropped that whole Jedi Kung Fu nonsense. But Ezra, by the way, makes it back as well. Because remember, he got thrown onto the ship by Sabine. Mm-hmm. So what happens is we get to see a nice little button, Hera and them as one of those V-wing kind of things pulls into the thing. And here comes a guy walk out, and then sure enough, there's the little R2 unit or the droid Chopper who rushes up because Chopper knows his master, man. And sure enough, dude takes off his helmet. He's home, so he's going to tell them some stuff.
I want to see the scene where Hera goes into the council and starts ripping them a new one.
For real. Because now he's there. I want to see what Ziolo says, because Ziolo's I hate him.
He's excited. Thrawn's back now. I bet you.
That bum.
Sorry.
But anyway, so no, for real. But yeah, man. So is there anything what did you overall think of the series? Obviously, we knew it wasn't going to end in terms of a finish because this story is still continuing.
I love the way it ended.
I did too. I think I said to you.
I do love the way it ended. It felt like it got me excited to see what's coming because now that I felt like it's up, almost like this first season was like putting everything in place. So I can't, I felt like it was putting everything in place. Some of the episodes I did not like, but at the same time, I liked how this ended.
There you go. Now you know. And if knowing's half the battle, you're halfway to being a know-it-all yourself. What's the know-it-all index for us for this episode? We're in agreement. This was a 9.0 out of 10. Absolutely thought it was well worth it. I thought the entire series did a really good job of setting some things up, especially because I missed those episodes of Rebels and later on Clone Wars. I didn't watch those. Clone Wars I never watched at all. Rebels I stopped watching right at the end of before season 3 started because again, life and stuff.
Is it life?
So they did an excellent job connecting dots for me. I didn't go hunting down a whole lot of information. I went with what they showed us and I enjoyed it. So if you haven't watched the show yet and you stumbled upon this review, do yourself a big favor. Go watch Ahsoka season 1. You're gonna love it.
And since I didn't watch Rebels or Clone Wars, this still made perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
I didn't need to know all that. It was cool to know it,
Right.
After I seen it and got some explanation about it. But
Yeah. It left me feeling very much the way I felt after the first time I ever saw episode 4, after I saw A New Hope. I felt like I'm at the beginning of something. And that's a beautiful thing to be at in Star Wars. I feel like I'm not at the end of a thing. I feel like very much, and by the way, I loved Andor and it did a wonderful job, but I know that story ultimately. I know where it's going to go. This is new.
We don't know.
This is new territory. This is the era where I really did want to see in the movies down the way, but obviously the characters are older, whatever. There's rumors online about whether or not Luke might be in a follow-up movie in the new form because of the way he is and whatnot. I'm all about it, man. Whatever Dave Filoni and them want to do, I trust them. They've earned my trust as far as I'm concerned. So comment below. Let me know what you thought about this episode of Ahsoka, episode 8, part 8. And just if there's anything you thought, what are you looking forward to? Are you looking forward to what's coming? If there's a season 2, or I know the Mandalorian potentially could jump in.
I expect, like you had said that one week, that I expect to see it, if not a couple episodes, at least towards the end of next season.
Sure.
A nice rounding.
No, absolutely. I'm ready. I'm ready to see what they do next. Give them the keys. Make Dave Filoni the Kevin Feige of Star Wars, as far as I'm concerned. I know that all signs point to Kathleen Kennedy stepping away very soon. I know that I believe that's happened already. They just haven't really kind of given the final announcement of when she's going to be done.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying make him the CEO of everything. What I'm saying is put him over what's happening in Star Wars. Trust me, I'm enjoying the heck out of this thing. I hope you enjoyed it too. So we look forward, and by the way, we're going to still keep reviewing all kinds of things and looking forward to stuff. So stick around. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Click the little bell icon so people know that, so you get notified. And make sure everybody knows you want to be part of the Knowitall Nation. Also, tell your friends to come join the Knowitall Nation. The bigger the channel grows, the more we're going to have opportunities to do just this kind of stuff here, where I would love nothing more than just keep bringing you guys fun things. So, lots of plans in the works. Hopefully, you're going to be a part of it. Never forget,
everyone loves a know-it-all.
That's right. May the Force be with you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Talk to you later.